Welcome. I'm Kerel Pinder, the writer and director of Easy Love, and this is Easy Talk. All right, welcome to the first episode of Easy Talk. We're here with Sade Pinder and Ramon Webb, who are playing Leah and Vincent. So, Sade, my first question is for you. How did you have the opportunity to be a part of Easy Love? And also, what was it like playing the best friend?
Okay, well, I was able to join the Easy Love crew. I know that you were doing auditions, and I was working, and I didn't have any time to audition, and I was so upset, and I was just like, oh gosh, I want to be a part of this so bad. And you actually called me a few days later and offered me an opportunity to do your audition, and we did it. I think via Zoom.
Yeah.
And you loved it, and you were like, okay, I still have to pass this on to my other creatives. And I was like, okay. And you're like, okay, don't worry, I'm gonna get back to you.
I'm gonna let you know, girl.
And you did, and you said that everyone loved it, so that was exciting. I was really happy. So I was like, okay, yeah, when it's for you, right?
When it's for you. That's the crazy thing. When it's for you, it's for you. Because I was excited when you was like, I did want to audition. Because you're always wondering when you reach out to somebody, you're like, oh, are they gonna really be committed? Because they didn't come first themselves.
Yeah.
So when you were like, oh, I saw the audition, but I just wasn't able to audition, I was like, okay, this was the right fit. And I've said it before that out of the 4 leads, Lem is the only one who was the original first pick. Everybody else was the pick that we had to go on to because something didn't work out with the original person we chose. But it wasn't the second choice, it was the best choice because all of you just filled the roles so wonderfully. So Ramon, you're playing the bad guy and you came in 2 weeks before. Was it?
Yes, roughly a week and some days.
It was a week and some days.
Yeah, everybody joined the team months before with rehearsals. And that was another thing that I had known you from being on stage. And so I was like, okay, I think Ramon can do this with shorter. We're like, Ramon, you have like a week to learn these lines.
And I was like, sure. No
But you were great. You were great. So we see Vincent. He's the bad guy. How does it feel playing the bad guy?
Very unfamiliar territory.
Unfamiliar, like you don't know anything about that bad guy.
I have no idea.
Like, you had to really get in character, really work up those acting skills.
It was.
We were asking for a lot in a week and a half.
I know, right? But
Transform.
I mean, Vincent wasn't necessarily a bad guy. Yes, he was. I can't do it. He was a bad guy.
He was making some bad choices and some bad moves.
Bad.
So why do you think that he's making these promises?
I think he's promising a lot to her, so he keeps his girl. Honestly, he wants to keep her, but he's going about it all the wrong ways. He's promising and lying, and like they say, a promise is a comfort to a fool. So, even though you're a fool, you're still comforted. You still feel at ease because the person is lying to you and keeping you happy and ease. So, I think that's why he's doing it. It's a selfish thing, but it happens.
It happens. Yeah, and I think like when we were doing the audition process, when we were telling the guys the role that they were auditioning for, we were like, when you're in high school, there are girls who date guys out of school. Yeah, that's the guy that you're auditioning for. And they knew right away because it happens so much in our culture. But I think a lot of time is because they think that they're naive and they can have these promises and lies and continue this relationship.
It's so much easier to string somebody along.
Yeah, especially like when you're not in the same, like you don't work when I work, you're at school. So both of you come from the stage background, and that's why it was so easy to get you guys to work with being on Easy Love, because there's a difference between stage and film. Film, you have to be a little smaller, but the acting skills were going to be there right away, and we didn't have a lot of time to kind of work with someone who hadn't had any experience acting. So my question for both of you, and Ramon, you can start, what do you prefer, film or stage? And then what was the most memorable part about this process?
I like stage. Stage has always been a passion of mine from I was young. I always remember being a fan of actors and acting, so stage definitely. It's such an instant satisfaction. You get to see your work in progress. People are right there with you, so stage for sure. And my favorite part about shooting or about the entire process of the shoot was being actually on shoot, being on location with the actors and actresses and watching them get into their craft and watching them work and watching young actors who've never acted before, just go in there and knock it out. It was just an amazing thing to be a part of, and I'm so grateful that I was. So, you know.
Aww. Sade?
Yes, I would have to agree with Ramon. I am team stage, but I've been a part of the theater's been a part of my life for about 20 years now, because my mom used to, act as well at the theater, and I was there from I was like 5 years old. So, I'm now older than that, 20 plus years, and I'm still a part of the theater, and just watching the whole process of it and being able to get that instant response right there, to know if you're doing well and get that gratification right there and then. It's like, oh, yay.
Yeah, it's always like a delayed gratification.
Exactly.
Like it's way down, yeah.
But being a part of film does make you feel like a superstar, and I'm, finally getting to walk on the red carpet, so. But yeah, I'm still team stage.
And your most memorable part of this process?
Oh man, I met so many wonderful people, during this process and with the project. Being able to just, connect with so many like-minded people, creatives. You did such a wonderful job with the casting. You had models, writers, everyone came together, and it was just so amazing. Everyone, their energy, the positive energy. I'd say that everyone just came there and was ready to work and had their hands on with everything and every aspect and area of it. So the whole experience was memorable for me, so. Okay, so my question for you, Miss Kerel Pinder, when did you realize and was just like, wow, I did it? When did you have that moment? Describe that moment for me.
Like we're doing it. I think that came on the first day. I think the moment of feeling like we actually doing this, like on the first day. I think the first day, we had Crafty, and I have had opportunity, I think it was in 2017, to go on a real film set. And so I was amazed that there's wardrobe, hair and makeup, there's Crafty, where there's food, there's this, the setting up the stage and all of that. So the first day, and then I think being proud that there's a program that you use, it's called Studio Binder, and it kind of helps to organize the scenes that you're gonna do, the actors that need to be there, and you guys would have gotten emails that tells you the exact location of everything that we're gonna do. And so watching that, okay, it was the first time I used Studio Binder, and then it worked. We were able to set everything, and I just kind of learned all of that information within the last 2 years, because I've studied screenwriting, but I had to do other certifications and things like that to learn about knowing how to do TV and film. So being able to put all of that to work happened on the first day. So I think the first day, I even made a video at the end of the first day of shooting, and I was just like, we did it, guys. Day one, and it just, like you said, it was a lot of positive energy. It was just we really, at the end of day one, when we, and I think we finished, every day we didn't finish. Some days we did have to transfer over, which is stuff that I learned being on set. But the first day we did, and I was super proud of that. So my final question for you guys, do you hate or are you okay with the line, let me put the head in?
Take it away.
Because our DP, Alfred, hates the line. I insisted that line is gonna stay there, but I have my reasons. But how do you guys feel about it?
You go
first. Okay, for me, oh gosh, that line, I am not a fan of that line. Seriously, that is such a perverted thing. We can all relate to, because that's something. We've all heard it before, I'm sure, but yeah, no, that's a no for me. Maybe if it's someone who you're it's your boyfriend or someone you're intimate with or something, you're playfully saying it maybe, but no, if I don't, no way. That's come here, no.
Hate is a strong word. So, for starters, I would say I hate the line, but I mean...
Do you think it was fitting?
I think it was, honestly. The line was so 90s that people really don't really understand. If you were growing up in the 90s, if you didn't use that line or heard that line before, you are, you're lying. So it was just one of those things that guys use, it was a ploy, it wasn't really something to get them in the mood, because it's a disgusting line. I don't think it was used for anything romantic, so you ladies can get that out your head. It was more used for more playful acts, let me put the head in, Can I put the head in? May I?
Yes! Jenny said, it's a part of the culture. Like I said, it's a part of the culture, and it's something that was done. And so we already know that, you know, you're already in a bad situation if you're dating someone that's underage and you're like in your 20s. And so so she technically can't give consent. And so I guess that's his way of asking for consent instead of just going in there. And so I prefer you to do that versus do nothing. But you're still in a very tricky situation because you're dating someone underage. But I think the reason why I wanted it there is exactly what Ramon said, is because it's true to the culture. It's true, like literally, like I lost my virginity on that line. I'm like, it is what it is. It's literally like, it's a part of the culture. If you were behaving, you heard it. If you grew up, you heard it. Like, I fell for it. Like, a lot of people fell for it.
What would be your most positive thing you took away from this entire experience?
It's a great question. The thing that I took away from this experience is that anything is possible if you do put your mind to it. Because we did this in less than a year. Like a year ago, I still didn't even have that meeting with Jill about a book that we decided was gonna be more than just a book. And this was something I wanted to do for years. From I went to do a screenwriting course in 2016. From I wrote my first play, and I had Peter Turnquest say to me, like, you need to be Tyler Perry. And I'm just like, what? So this legit? Like, from my first play, and even my brother, you know, used to tell me, like, when he would see the montages in my play, like, you don't want to write plays. You want to write something for film because you keep putting film in every time you do. And so from hearing my brother say that from the first time I did a play, hearing Peter Turnquest, hearing people say it, and then actually going to pursue screenwriting, it's been a dream, but it always seems impossible because something like this costs a lot of money. And so it's like, how are you going to convince actors, your film, your grip, your lighting, your crew, a DP, like, how are you going to convince all of those people to come together and do it for free, volunteer, so that you can be able to show the world, this is the kind of content we can produce. Now give us the funding so we can pay these people for what they're worth. Like, you know, so and it's all a prayer. Like, we don't know if that's going to happen. That's our hope, that people will see it and they would appreciate it. So that's what the positive thing I'll take it from, that anything is possible. If we can do it without money, that means that there is a hope that someone can see the kind of content and invest in it so we can do more projects like this. So that's what I take from it. So thanks so much for tuning in to episode 1 of Easy Talk. We look forward to seeing you next week.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Easy Love. For more details on how to purchase the book Easy Love, visit the description box below.